Now behind me is the most powerful car that Volkswagen currently sell. And viewers of the channel will notice that I've driven quite a few fast Volkswagens, and I didn't expect the most powerful one to be in SUV form. But a wise man once said, with great power comes a quick 0 to 60. His name was Tim Williams. Cheese to the bread. Oh boy. And that is 60. What? Cheese and bread. Have you had an accident in the last 5 years? If you have, it was probably down to the launch control of a VW Touareg E hybrid, because I can see 4.73. This thing weighs 2.5 tons. 2.5 tons. And the reason why it's so powerful is because it doesn't have the standard 2-litre engine that's in the Golf R and the GTI. Instead, it has a V6 turbocharged engine paired with an electric motor, which makes 456 brake horsepower. 456. You see what they've done there? They could easily did 511. So there are two questions we're going to be addressing in this video. Number one, can a 2.5 ton SUV really take advantage of all of this power? And number two, have VW nailed it with the petrol and hybrid performance together, making that silly amount of horsepower? Could this be the way forward? Let's find out. Oh my. Now the Touareg E hybrid comes with air suspension, and it is exactly what you need. Twisting this knob just like that goes straight into comfort, and it rides these bumps like it was on air, excuse the pun, and then twisting it again back to sport. I can see the dials have turned red, keep my eyes on the road, and immediately I begin to feel every single undulation on the road, and I get nice feedback, and it's not overly crashy. As you can see, we're in sport and my head's not bouncing around. Comfortable in these massage seats, and I can push on. You have another knob to your left, and that allows you to change the height of the car. You've got a load mode, you've got a sports mode, you don't have a normal mode, and then you have an off-road, and you've got an off-road extreme mode, and you just let it do what it wants. When you twist the drive mode button, it gives you exactly what you want. And in sport, hunkering down, making itself a bit more aerodynamic. Visibility shocking. This thing drives really, really well. Now the performance is obviously down to the harmony of the air suspension and the engine and the motor. Now, this is also 25 millimeters lower than the standard Touareg B and the R. And in comfort, you don't really notice that. And that is a great recipe for an SUV, or a fast performance focused SUV. And again, twisting this knob back into sports mode, the confidence that this thing gives you. If I sit a bit lower, I would totally forget that I'm driving a 2.5 ton SUV. Now listen to this, 456 brake horsepower and 2.5 tons of weight. Sounds like a recipe for disaster. Agreed, come on, you'd agree. But then listen to this, 6-piston front brake caliper, 22-inch wheels. Think of it what you want, but that combination isn't as scary as you'd think. Let's come to a complete stop here, or close to. Check my mirror, hard on the brakes, and we've stopped. We've stopped. Indicators on, and we're off again. Bearing in mind, that was 60. Doing the speed limit, cruising along at 60, press the brakes, nothing fancy, not a big nosedive, bearing in mind it is 2.5 ton. The brake balance works. 6 pistons is more than enough for a car like this. And of course, VW have paired this with their beautiful 4Motion system, meaning all-weather grip, and it's great. It does what it says on the tin, and when you do get to bits like we do ahead, I'm just going to press on a bit. Yeah, boy. You can actually feel how it works. Obviously, you've got the other brands. Audi have got their Quattro, BMW have got their X-Drive. But an SUV must be 4-wheel drive, so then you can point it and send it, and it just pushes you around the corner. And of course, when you are off-road, you definitely need that all-wheel drive. Now, of course, this is a hybrid, so we have to talk a bit about efficiency, very briefly. And something to note is rest in peace headphone users, because this thing gave me 60 miles per gallon. 60. I'm shouting because I'm shocked. I looked on the cockpit and I saw 60 miles a gallon. I was like, what the hell? How is this even possible? Guys, you don't understand. This thing is a 3-litre turbocharged engine. 60 mpg doesn't happen unless there's a 2-litre diesel engine in there. And the last time I checked, I'm not going to lift this up, it doesn't sound like a diesel, and it definitely doesn't smell like a diesel, and I haven't been putting diesel in it, so I hope it's not a diesel. How is that possible? 60 mpg. Sorry guys, headphone users, like I said, rest in peace. Now, I'm not stupid. Pressing the drive mode menu and of course going into eco is going to give you better mpg. And then when you select hybrid and select this button to go all the way up, you're telling the car not to use the battery until it's got to here. And then when you do get to here, you run it in E mode, and it is obviously electric drive only. And that is where you see high MPG. But I managed to be cheeky because I treat it like a game. I say, you know what? We're going to charge that up on the motorway. And then when we get into town, we're going to switch to E mode. And when you compare these and combine rather these together, you see silly amounts of 60 mpg. Now, let me explain my excitement. My day-to-day car is in fact a hybrid, not a plug-in hybrid, but it has 120 horsepower and is a 1.8 petrol engine, and I struggle to see 55 mpg, probably 50 on a good day. So you can see why I was so excited, because this has triple the amount of horsepower, or even 4 times the amount, and it still gives me over 60 mpg. Like I said, on a bad day. Now here comes something rather harsh. Without the electric motor, this engine is kind of puny, and I know what you're saying. A 6-cylinder putting out 320 horsepower is okay, but not weighing what this thing weighs. Now let me explain. This would be the perfect towing machine. It's got the right amount of power, the right amount of space, cooling, heated seats, massage seats, loads of space in the back, LED matrix headlights, the lot. You name it, it can do it. And it has a 75-litre tank, which is quite expensive when filling up, but it means you don't have to fill up that often. And when you do fill it up and you do the magic like I have, I'm quite sure you could easily see over 400 miles. And again, it doesn't sound great, but when you remember what you have under your right foot when needed, this could be a wolf in sheep's clothing, or I don't know, a big fat wolf in big fat sheep's clothing. This car stands out. It's humongous, both outside and inside. And the fact that, like I said, even now, as hard as I've been driving, I'm looking at 37.7 mpg. Come on guys, say no more, as the kids say. Yeah, say no more. If we are going to continue to put out or receive or enjoy cars like this with performance, there has to be a compromise. And I think Volkswagen with their hybrid system just works. If the next Golf, which is not going to be a petrol engine anymore, it could just be full EV, if they could squeeze a hybrid or electric motor, I keep saying hybrid, same thing. If they could make that a hybrid, it would definitely sell, in my opinion, because you don't need to use the hybrid. You can just switch that off, but you will get less power. But if you pair them together, you'll be onto a chicken dinner. Now, who is this car for? It's definitely wasted on somebody who doesn't enjoy performance. Just get a diesel or standard version. There's no point you getting this sort of power. But if you do enjoy having that power right under your right foot, as you can see, and the space, and the fact that you can use it to do kind of both, and you've got a big family, then look no further. This is right up your street. So there we have it, guys, the VW Touareg E-Hybrid, an absolute no-brainer for somebody that wants that happy medium between performance and obviously efficiency. And if you want to spread some of that happiness, please smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see all of your beautiful faces in the next one. Take care and God bless.